Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, how do I
My own pen. Lisa brought back my mug that she tried to
This is
keep.
so I can send you notes throughout the meeting.
and water? I mean, what's happening tonight? I'm getting spoiled. Water, pens, notes?
Public comment, anybody got a public comment? No? Okay. Approval of the BoS November 12th meeting minutes. Ms. Fisher, did you have a chance to read over these?
I did read the minutes, and I'm good with the minutes. So I make a motion to approve the Board of Supervisors meeting minutes from November 12th, 2025.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just the two of us.
Just to let everyone know, Bill Carafa tonight is attending the PSATS boot camp for manager or supervisors in order to educate himself better.
It's offered to all the supervisors. Anybody who wins election for supervisor, it's offered to everybody throughout the state of Pennsylvania.
Remember it well.
Yes. Treasurer's report, bills to be paid.
All right, the revenue collections so far this year are 95.4% year to date. We should be at about 92%, so we're a little bit ahead of schedule on that. Current real estate collections are at 100.67%, so we have full tax receipts for the year. Compared to what we budgeted, that doesn't necessarily mean everyone gets paid, it just means that our collections are ahead of where we anticipated. Of note on the treasurer's report this month, I wanted to bring this up, is in the office, I know we've seen this personally, but I wanted to share this. So far this year, building permits are at 205% of last year's number.
Wow.
So we are seeing a lot of building going on here in the township. Also, expenditures year to date are 72.52%, which is below where we would normally anticipate them being this year. This is predominantly because we have not had a road project this year, because we need to carry some of the Faust Road project into this year, and because we are waiting on a state grant for a possible equipment capital expenditure. For the bills list, we have a pretty normal bills list this month. The bills list totals $94,808.74. I'd ask a motion for the board to approve the bills list for that amount.
I make a motion to approve payment of our bills in the amount of $94,808.74.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we'll go into our normal reports. The Pennsylvania State Police, Trooper Butler gave us the CAD readout for the month for Upper Frederick Township. We had 34 calls of service in Upper Frederick Township. And as you would expect in this time of year and what you've seen on the road, the majority of calls were for deer strikes. We also had 1 DUI and 3 accidents in the township borders this month as well. Most of those accidents tended to be minor. I believe those are most likely also related to your deer strikes as well. Going to the Plymouth Community Ambulance, they responded to 30 calls for service here within the township. Of those 30 calls, 20 of those calls were for Frederick Living. I was expecting the firehouse to be here for their report. Bill, do you have their call numbers?
I do. Total number for November was 11, which is down significantly. Total calls year to date is 152. Volunteer hours for November are 456.50, and that brings our total for the year 2,625. Community events 12/6 was breakfast with Santa. Wreath making shop is 12/12. The Plymouth Ambulance has their 308 toy run. That's a 12/13/25, and the Santa run is 12/20/25.
Thank you, Bill. For the fire marshal's report for this month, he was quite busy this month. We completed our Limerick drill. This is our annual drill with the Limerick Generating Station, the Emergency Operations Center for Montgomery County, state emergency operators, and FEMA. That was approximately a 6-hour exercise here in the township this last month. And we believe our fire marshal did an excellent job on his first exercise for the Limerick Generating Station. He also conducted a fire drill over at Fred Living with the help of their staff. And he's also been working with the Sunshine Mill as they work to get that up and running to make sure their fire equipment and systems are in order and up to code as they rebuild that mill with the county. All right, water sewer plant, Mr. Matt.
No violations report. Ivy Ridge is running good. Trying to get a price to put a new influent pump there, get 2 of them. Should cut our electric bill down big time because they're running almost non-stop because they don't pump as much. So, but they're discontinued, so I gotta try and find what's gonna work there.
Okay.
So I'm working with the manufacturer. Perkiomen crossing, it's been running good.
How are we doing with those 2 wells and balancing those?
It's been fine.
Okay.
Been running number 2 quite a bit.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Matt. For the Public Works report, they submitted their report for this month. It's been a busy month for them as well. They winterized all the summer, lawn equipment that they use for road mowing in the parks. They have completed work on the swells on Fisher and Creek Lane. They were revitalizing those swells to help prepare them for winter and melt-offs. They've also been going all the winter prep and equipment maintenance needed to be able to run all the plow trucks at full service. 2 trucks have been resprung as their payload springs have worn out. We've rebladed most of the plows. And then Chris from Public Works has also been doing a big job doing some transmission service on our 750. That's actually saving the township a decent amount of money as well. So Public Works has been doing a great job. They've really been going after it. And you'll also see new markers out at Wayland. I believe those might have been installed either yesterday or the day before. They're putting new markers out at Wayland. If you're on the walking trail, you'll be able to see those markers, and those will be points that you'll be able to look at and reference if there's ever an emergency. We will be collecting the GPS locations of each of those and turning those into Montgomery County 911. So that if you call during an emergency and reference one of those trail points, you will have immediately given to emergency responders your actual GPS locations for that marker.
Okay, engineer's report for December has been updated, passed along to the township for your review. There's really not a whole lot of updates, not a lot going on as far as that goes. There's an agenda item, I guess, later here to talk about the Fagleysville minor subdivision. But other than that, I can answer any questions. 3 dogs moving forward. Wintertime, everything kind of slows down a little bit, so they put some trees in the ground, and they're mainly under building construction, which can be done in the colder weather without too much trouble. But other than that, not really a lot going on. Okay, we do anticipate next week being able to finish the Raccoon Ave portion of that project with the
Okay,
so,
good.
and keeping Aaron up to date on that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
You got John's report for building inspector, Norm?
That's been forwarded on. To my understanding from, and Vicki, unless you have anything to add, there's really kind of been not a whole lot of new information on
Okay.
that at this point. So that's all I have on that one.
Buck Reed, anything for the planning commission?
Just what's on the new business in front of you today with, Norm just referenced it, Fagleysville subdivision, and then we voted to send the use regulations ordinance to you guys for approval.
Okay. Bob's not here, and Bill's not here. I don't think the central, or regional planning commission even met, right? I don't think they've met.
No, they didn't meet before this meeting.
Okay. Parks and Rec, no Miss Tracy today. Anything going on there, Aaron?
No, I just want to reiterate that we did set a date for next year's Community Day. It will have a slightly new form, as we're exploring, kind of a different event, more food focused. But that date will be September 26th. I wanted to reiterate that date so that people put it on their calendar once again. I know they have mentioned it in previous Board of Supervisor meetings, but I wanted to, say it again.
Okay. In new business, we have a conditional approval today for pending an engineer's review for the 429 Fagleysville Road subdivision. You want to talk anything about that, Norm?
Sure. There is a small 3-lot subdivision on Fagleysville Road. The applicant submitted a set of plans. LTL did review those minor plans and issued a first review letter dated November 14th of this year. It was subsequently discussed at the Planning Commission meeting, and there really was not a whole lot to talk about. The issues that were raised, the applicant had indicated through their engineer that they were will comply issues. Let me see, there was 1 or 2 highlights here. There was a waiver requested regarding the plan being submitted as a preliminary final, and that was, Planning Commission was fine with that. Additionally, let me see, there was a waiver requested regarding street trees along the existing road, and the Planning Commission really felt more comfortable, as Vicki had kind of termed it, as a deferral. And what that means is they're going to add the street trees that are required to the plan along the street, but they would not be planted until a building permit is pulled for the home that would have that frontage. So essentially, it would fall on the property owner. So if it had 200 feet of frontage and they were required to do 3 trees, it would be part of the building permit that was pulled. So that was the deferral. It wasn't a waiver, but it would be handled at a later date. And then there's a couple other fees involved that the applicant would talk with Aaron about, and then prior to recording, they would pin it and take care of the garage and driveway removal, and LTL would do like a site inspection and verify that that's been done prior to plan recording. But if the board is comfortable with that, we wouldn't have any issues with a conditional final approval, conditioned upon LTL's letter dated November 14th of 2025.
Okay.
And the applicant and her engineer are here tonight if you have any questions for them.
Okay. I'm pretty sure, Norm, you would review it, Buck, you had said you guys have been over it with fine tooth comb, so I personally don't have a problem with it. And I'm fine with the trees going in afterwards too. That's nothing on my behalf, anything, Miss Lisa?
I'm fine.
I'm Nancy's daughter, so Nancy Shuttle.
Okay.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys coming, I do, thank you.
So make a
Do
motion?
you want me to give you a suggested motion?
Sure.
Okay, just because of the waivers, that's the only reason I'm saying
Okay,
that.
that'd be
So
great.
the suggested motion would be approval of the minor subdivision plan subject to compliance with Norm's review letter of November 14th, 2025, granting the waiver with regard to the preliminary / final plan, and then with a.
You know I'm not gonna remember all that,
Well, then just say I so moved. But let me get it on the record so that way it's
right?
correct.
Keep going.
You could do it like a swearing in, where she'll
I thought
say
you were gonna
something,
But just repeat after me.
I thought you were gonna change a few words.
No.
She's still going.
I'm like, wow, you were awesome in shorthand, I'm like, this is great.
Okay, and with a deferral of the requirement that street trees be planted until a building permit is pulled for that particular lot. So then you just say, so moved.
So moved.
Okay, done. You have to
I was just
second.
gonna say,
Gotta say, yeah.
You would have to second.
All in favor? Aye.
So we'll send you a confirmation letter of the approval. And then it'll just be getting whatever the record plans are to Norm. And then once they're finalized, we'll record them for you.
How long does it take though?
Just depends on, I think there's a couple changes that have to be made to the
We've already made
plans.
the changes, we just wanted to wait until this meeting happened, and then we'll get them to Norm. And then, work out the, fees and things that have to happen for the monumentation and the garage.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I don't know
thank you.
what else, so, thank you.
All right, next up is the approval of the 2020, You going already? Don't you want to stay for the fee schedule? Got what you needed, you're out.
He's got some corrections he needs to get.
My camera, I'm leaving.
Next up's the approval of the 2026 fee schedule resolution number 2025-50. This here just brings us up to date with the fee schedule, or the fees being charged for different things here. We haven't updated our fee schedule in several years. And Mr. Walliser had gone back over it and brought us into today's market. As everybody knows, everything's more expensive now. So we're now bringing ourselves up to that threshold.
Anybody have any questions before I make a motion? Good, okay. I make a motion to approve the 2026 fee schedule resolution 2025-15.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ms. Fisher asked if anybody had any questions, because she went through every single change and knows them down to the penny. So she was hoping someone would ask.
Not all changed, if that was the question. Not all of them changed. A good
Okay.
bit of them changed.
All right, the next agenda item is something I wanted to bring in front of the board. I've gone through our utility billing and identified accounts that are excessively truant. We have several of those. We've issued them letters. We've cut them off from service before. We are still not getting compliance with payment of
Even
those
with cutting
utilities.
them off?
Yeah.
Darn, okay.
What I'm asking permission to do is work on a relationship and a possible contract with the Portniff Law Associates. This is a law firm that specializes in collecting utilities and fees that have not been paid. The reason I am making this suggestion is it will take and free up resources within the township. And also, generally, the way they schedule their contracts, there is no cost to the township as part of this process. Which would then, save some costs as well for us. But I would like to have permission to be able to approach them and get that work started.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this. I, along with Mr. Walliser, have identified these issues here. And it takes some resources and a lot of time of ours to go through this. So I do not have a problem with this at all.
Yeah. I'd also say we're not professional collectors, so
Negative.
it probably is good to remove us from that experience.
Can we ask, like, what is the amount of money that people haven't paid? Like,
It's somewhere between 9 months to 3 years of non-payment.
Oh, my goodness,
So we are talking habitual
right.
folks. The initial, and this hasn't been agreed to by the board, but the initial call was for roughly about 9 months of back paid utilities. And we have sent letters and tried to work out payment plans and done a lot of this other legwork, and some of these people have just completely ignored us. And not even, attempted to try to make the situation correct or right.
Right.
And at the threshold that we're using to kind of make the cutoff at the moment, it's a pretty high threshold to get to that dollar figure. You've got to non-pay for quite some time.
It came up to, I think, close to 2 years you have to not pay to get to this number. I worked closely with one individual who just drug that out for a year's time until finally we said, hey, enough is enough. And then just got prompt payment. So, it does.
Yeah, sure.
I don't have a year's time to spend with
There's
everybody.
kindness, and then you're making a you-know-what out of me.
Yes.
Well, it's not about this. Some people are in a tough spot too, and I respect that too, so it is what it is.
Does the law office affect their credit?
If they don't get payment, what they'll end up doing is leaning the property.
Okay.
The same as what would happen if they don't pay their taxes.
Right.
And we had done that in the past too, didn't we?
Yes, we've done that practice in the past as well.
Okay.
See, I don't have a problem with that. So does that take a motion, Aaron?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to allow us to contract with Portniff Law Associates.
You were
for-
right, it's Portnoff.
It is Portnoff?
Yes,
Oh, it's
there's no there.
I make a motion to allow us to contract with Portnoff Law Associates to collect on past due utility bills.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is approval of notarized list of eligible volunteers for the volunteer tax credit. This goes to our emergency services folks. But we can't really take any action on this because we didn't receive any backup information or backdrop information as far as activity logs or anything like that to check against it. So we're gonna have to punt this until we get the information.
And are they working on getting the list of,
They have been notified to give us activity logs, but we have not received those to this date.
okay.
We did that through email.
Is there, since it's for a volunteer tax credit, is there a timeline that they have to do that by in order to
So the
receive the
list
tax
does
credit?
not have, the list has been created, so that timeline has been met. The applicants have until November 1st, if the list is approved, to make application for that credit refund. So there are still about 3 months at the start of the year in which they can act upon getting that credit. So if you do wait till next month to take action, they would still have approximately 90 days to file a claim.
Okay, great.
All right?
So that's delayed.
Yeah, no action on him. Approval of closing of the historic grant from the state. So this here is the grant we had obtained for the schoolhouse out front, restoring it back to an old schoolhouse. But the language that was used in it makes it unusable for us. So this here is just to give Mr. Walliser approval to
Close out.
close out the grant, essentially. We never take ownership. Grants like that are always, you put it out, you get it back. So this here is just closing out the app for the grant and getting us away from it. So, you wanna make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the closing of the historic grant from the state for the schoolhouse. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and then the approval for advertisement for the
So that's made, but that's not actually correct. It's already been advertised. This would
Okay.
be for your adoption for this evening. And so this is the EIT change with regard to the referendum that was just recently approved by the voters of the increase in the earned income tax of 0.04%. So you need to actually adopt an ordinance that imposes that additional tax in order to be able to collect it. So it would not go into effect until January 1. And then this will go to whoever, I guess it's Perkiomen, who does your EIT tax collections, and then they will collect this additional 0.04%, too many zeros, from residents of the township. So this has been advertised
Okay,
for adoption this evening, if
okay,
you're
so
okay with it.
we can make a motion to adopt it this evening.
Correct, yes.
All right. This referendum passed on our November ballot. I don't know, I'm gonna butcher the number, but it's somewhere right, 932 people wanted it, 300 and something said no. So this here was something that was near and dear to us, Ms. Fisher, myself, Mr. Caraffo. We ran on, trying for preservation of Upper Frederick. And this is a huge step in getting us in that direction and being able to help us preserve our community.